All right, welcome to The Explainer. Let's be honest, if you've looked at the AI landscape lately, it's a lot. It feels like a new tool drops every week. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise. The goal? To help you build the perfect AI team for your work. I mean, this is the big question, right? ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok. It's enough to give anyone AI choice paralysis. You've got all these amazing options, but how do you know which one is actually going to make a difference for your team and your projects? Which one do you bet on? So, here's our game plan. We're going to tackle that AI dilemma. I'll introduce you to your new AI team. We'll see a clash of the titans, figure out the right tool for the right job. I'll give you a playbook, and then we'll help you choose your champion. Let's get into it. Okay, so the very first thing we need to do, and this is super important, is to completely change the question we're asking. We gotta stop looking for the one best AI. Honestly, that's a myth. What we're really looking for is the best AI for a specific single task. Here's the best way to think about it. You wouldn't hire one person and expect them to be your company's top strategist, lead researcher, and your best technical writer, right? Of course not. It's the exact same idea here. We need to start treating these AI models like a team of specialists. Each one has its own unique skill set, its own DNA. All right, so with that in mind, let's meet the players. And I want you to stop thinking of them as just pieces of software. From now on, these are the core members of your new, highly specialized AI team. First up, the one everyone knows, ChatGPT. Think of this one as your versatile strategist. Its real power? Well, it's got that advanced reasoning for sure, but it's also incredibly flexible. You can personalize it like crazy, and it plugs into this massive ecosystem of other tools and custom GPTs. Next on the team, meet Gemini. This is your ecosystem powerhouse. Its superpower is just scale. It has a ridiculously huge context window. What does that mean? It means it can read and remember hundreds of pages of documents all at once. And, naturally, being a Google product, it fits perfectly into Workspace, making it a dream for coordinating work. And then we have Claude. I like to call this one the precision architect. Look, when you absolutely, positively cannot have mistakes, Claude is who you call. It's a master at complex, long-form writing. It can hold a consistent voice like nobody's business, and it's probably the top pick out there for writing clean, error-free code. Last but not least, we've got Grok, our data researcher. This one was built from the ground up for one thing: deep, hardcore research. And it has a secret weapon. It's plugged directly into the real-time conversation happening on X. So if you need to understand what's happening right now with trends and public sentiment, Grok is your tool. So there you have it. Here's your whole AI team on one screen. You've got the strategist, the powerhouse, the architect, and the researcher. See how that works? Each one has a crystal clear role, which makes it so much easier to know who to tap on the shoulder for any given job. Okay, teams assembled. Now let's put them to the test. It's time for a little head-to-head comparison to see how these specialists actually stack up on the kind of work your team does every single day. We're going to look at what they're great at and where they fall a little short. Let's kick things off with a common one: complex documentation. Say you've got a massive 200-page report you need to make sense of. Who do you call? Gemini. Its huge context window is literally built for that kind of scale. But once you've done the analysis and you need to write a super precise, consistent procedure based on it, that's when you tag in Claude, the architect. See the handoff? Okay, what about something more creative, like finding a voice for your brand? Well, Claude is fantastic at holding a single, consistent voice across a really long piece of writing. It's a rock. ChatGPT, though, is the chameleon. It's a master of versatility. You can tell it to be anyone or anything. But the catch is, the final product is only as good as the persona you give it in the prompt. And this is really the key thing to understand about Claude. Why do we call it the precision architect? Because its error rate is incredibly low. It has what's called a low hallucination bias, which is just a fancy way of saying it's way, way less likely to just make stuff up. And that, my friends, is its killer feature when getting it wrong is not an option. But hey, let's be real, no one on the team is perfect, right? They all have their quirks. ChatGPT's performance? It totally depends on how good your prompts are. Gemini? Well, its reasoning can sometimes be a little fuzzy around the edges. Claude can be on the slow side, and its safety filters can feel a bit too tight sometimes. And Grok? It's the rookie. It's learning fast, but it's not quite at the same level as the veterans just yet. All right, so we've talked about the what. Now let's get into the how. It's time to get really practical and start matching these AI specialists to the actual concrete tasks you and your team are dealing with day in and day out. Think of this little matrix as your cheat sheet, your go-to guide. Need a quick answer for a simple question? That's ChatGPT all day long. Got a monster report to analyze? You bring in Gemini. Need to rewrite some code and get it perfect? That is a job for Claude, your specialist. And if you're doing a deep dive on market trends, you send in Grok. Okay, so knowing which tool to pick is half the battle, but using it effectively, that's the other half. So I'm going to give you a simple 3-part playbook to help you actually implement this AI team and get the most bang for your buck. The whole playbook really comes down to 3 things. First, context depth. Basically match the size of your document to the right model. Big files, go to Gemini. Second, master prompting. You got to know that ChatGPT needs a persona, but Claude works best with super clear, structured instructions. And third, be smart about costs. Use those cheaper, fast versions of the models for the simple, repetitive stuff. It'll save you a ton. All right, let's pull this all together. Here it is, the final cheat sheet. This is the one you can bookmark or screenshot to use anytime you're trying to figure out which AI champion to send into the ring. And what this table really hammers home is that core idea we started with. There are always trade-offs. The best choice is never simple. Take Gemini, for example. Its ability to use other apps, what we call tool calling, can be a bit shaky sometimes. But if your number one priority is to chew through a giant document, its massive context size makes it the obvious choice. It always depends on the job in front of you. So that really leaves us with one final big idea to think about. As these AIs get more and more specialized, and trust me, they will, the winning strategy isn't going to be about finding that one unicorn, that one genius tool that does everything. Nope. It's going to be about knowing how to build, manage, and deploy an entire team of elite specialists. So the real question is, who's going to be on your team?